Well, the thing that stands out is how shrunken Dennis Hastert is as a human being right now, walking in. He looked like a guy who was trying to fold his body in on itself, barely looking up from the defense table, speaking to the judge only in a whisper. A truly humbled image of the guy. He really had little or nothing to say, was left alone at the defense table while his lawyer conferred with the prosecutors, sort of alone with his thoughts as he looked at the indictment before him on the defense table. And then there was this other humiliation for the man who was once a second in line to the presidency. He was asked to surrender his passport, which he did, just like any other defendant who might be considered a flight risk.
Yeah, Dean, again, this news overwhelming to a lot of people on Capitol Hill and in the United States, a man who was well respected, well loved, or I should say well admired by his colleagues in Washington, took over for a former speaker who was accused of marital infidelities, also Speaker Gingrich prior to that. This has a lot of people shocked. I wonder, though, Dean, in Chicago, where, as David Graham was pointing out, there have been other politicians that have had issues, Rod Blagojevich. How does it play in Chicago?
Well, it's interesting. You're right to point out this is nationally a shock. Locally, a lot of Chicagoans are just shaking their heads and saying, here's another one. Mm-hmm. Another Illinois Pol who was caught in wrongdoing. The area that Hastert traversed to get to the elevators here is known by a lot of Chicagoans as the Walk of Shame. Others who preceded his steps along the way have wound up in prison. So, no, it's not a huge shock in Chicago, but it is, I think, surprising because, after all, we all know that Hastert was selected to be Speaker of the House because he was considered to be squeaky clean after what came before him.
We have not heard from Hastert. We have not heard from his lawyer. Do you feel as though now that the arraignment has taken place that we may hear something now, today, later today?
In fact, I'm in the lobby of the courthouse right now, and we're waiting for Thomas Green, the defense attorney, to come out before the microphones, and then we'll see whether they're going to start talking and actually defending the former speaker, within public opinion. There's been nothing from the prosecutors, which is not unusual. But it is unusual that Hastert's lawyers have said nothing as well.
And Dean, before we let you go, I'm just curious about, certainly, as you pointed out, reporters have been camped out in front of the former speaker's home. But I'm also guessing that reporters, including CBS News, are trying to get at who this person that is named in the indictment, individual A, is, and other folks that might have been familiar with the former speaker's prior life as a wrestling coach in Illinois, yes?
Yes, you're exactly correct on that. Reporters from CBS, as others, have been fanning out all over Yorkville, a town of about 17,000 people, and most of them are telling us, either privately or publicly, that they're having a hard time reconciling the charges against this man with the man they thought they knew.
All right, Dean Reynolds. Sorry, Christine.
No, I was just going to ask Dean your opinion on this. You noted that we have not heard anything from Hastert, and even his lawyers have not publicly claimed any sort of innocence and tried to defend him on his behalf. And I'm just wondering if that would maybe suggest that his lawyers don't want to say anything publicly because they don't want to ruin any chances of maybe working out a deal with prosecutors.
Well, that's the rankest kind of speculation, but I think it does make a certain sense because a trial carries inherent risks for Dennis Hastert in that we might learn the identity of individual A. Individual A might actually be called upon to testify. And who knows, there might be individuals B, C, and D. So you're right. There may be something in the works, but we don't know.
All right, CBS News correspondent Dean Reynolds on the ground there in Chicago reporting for us. Thank you very much.